Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
All right, so here we go. I click on this column and I'm going to name it Formulas, Define Name. Now a couple of things here. I'm just going to call this X for the name, and I'm going to make the scope TV sales data. You want your scope to match the worksheet you're working in. Okay? And then select the B column, define name. I'm going to call that Y. And I'm going to change the scope to TV sales data. I'm going to call this XY, just a label. I'm going to call this XSQ for XS squared, and YSQ for Y squared. Okay? So to calculate, I'm going to do equals X times Y. And I'm going to drag that down. For this column, the formula is equals X squared. And then I'll drag that down. And for the last one, I'll do equals Y squared. And I'll drag that down. And I also name these columns. So I'm going to select this column, define name. The name should appear here, XY. Change the scope. Same thing for column D. And for column E. Next, somewhere to its right, I'm going to type S underscore X, S underscore Y, S underscore XY, X underscore XSQ, and S underscore YSQ. These will be all my sums that I need, because I need a bunch of sums. Okay? So this will be equal sum parentheses X. This will give me the sum of the X column. This will be equals sum of Y. This will give me the sum of the Y column. This will be equals sum of XY, the XY column. This will be equals the sum of the X square column. And this last one will be the sum of the Y square column. And here I'm using the same label as its name, okay? So it's not confusing, right? So somewhere down here, I will make room to calculate X bar and Y bar. Okay? So again, X bar will be equals average X. This will do the average of the X's. And then next to it, I'd say equals average of the Y's. That'll give me the average of the Y's. Now, here, so far we've been naming columns, and the way you name columns is you select the whole column and you name it. Now I'd like to name these individual cells, and the way you name individual cells is instead of selecting the whole column, you just select that cell that you want to name. Okay, and if you've labeled it correctly above it, then the name is suggested to you. So here I'm going to select this cell here, I click on define name, S underscore X appears right here, which is nice because that's the same as the label I have. And then I change the scope, as always, to the current worksheet. And I'm going to repeat that for all the others. And same thing for X bar, right? So I'm going to click this number, define name, X bar appears on top. So here we are. These are the core numbers that we need to use in our formulas. Yes?
So did you rename them? Did you define the name again?
No.
Oh, you just said, okay.
No, I was just coloring it. All right, so another thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to define n, the sample size. Okay, and so, of course, this is a quantity you can just look at and see, right? So this is going from 2 to 21, so that means there's 20 items. But there is a way for Excel to count it. Okay, and it's neater to do it this way. And the advantages are, well, I'll tell you what the advantages are later. But the way you count things is you say equals count. And I'm going to say count the X column. Now the cool thing is the X column has a lot of things in it. It's got numbers and it's got a label. But this function only counts numbers. Yes? So it's really nice because it'll ignore the label. So if I say count X, and it's going to give me 20, it's only going to count the numbers. And that's very nice. Yes? And I'll show you why this is nice or useful in a moment. I'm going to click on 20 and I'm going to define that as well. I'm going to define that as n. So in my formulas, when I'm typing my formulas, instead of typing 20 every time, I'm just going to type in n. Okay? It's more descriptive and it's easier. All right, so I'm going to call this b underscore 1 and b underscore 0. So here we're going to use the formula for slope. So let's go bring in the slope formula. So now we're going to apply this formula, and we have all the necessary ingredients to cook this up. So the structure is that we have a fraction. So I say equals parentheses divided by parentheses, and between the first pair of parentheses, I'm going to start clicking on the things that I need. So I need n, so here's n, times sum of xy, that's this number, minus sum of x, that's this number, times sum of y, that's this number. And so that's your numerator. For your denominator, I click between the other pair of parentheses. Now, click on n times sum of the x squares, which is this one, minus the sum of x, which is this one, and the whole thing squared. Sx squared. So this will give us the slope. Now the slope is supposed to be 0.0583 or 0.05803. Now let's look at b sub. I'll come around and check your work if you didn't get this number. Everything is going to be fine, right? Everything's going to be okay. So just follow along. Equals. For the intercept, let's go bring in the formula. So here's the formula for the intercept. So this one's easy. Equals y bar, which is this one, minus b1. You know what we should do? We should name this as b underscore 1. And we should name this so you can use it later, b underscore 0. Okay. So equals y bar minus b1 times x bar. And remember, you're clicking on the numbers, not the labels. Okay. And that should be your intercept. You all got that, right?
Yeah.
Good. Now, the shortcut. Right, everybody's ears perk up like, okay, let's go. In Excel, calculating the slope has a very, very interesting name. The function name is called slope. Okay? So I'm going to say equals slope. And the first thing you want to put is all the y's, and we've named them y, so that's very convenient, comma. The second thing you want to put is x, and we've named that x, so that's nice. So that's what it looks like. Slope y comma x. Yes? And that should give you the number 0.058. So that's the short way of doing it. And what do you think the function is called for intercept? Intercept. Yeah, very good. Intercept. And it's the same structure, right? Intercept y comma x. And that gives you the intercept. Lovely. Okay, maybe I color these as well. Now let's talk about even a faster way of doing this, even faster than intercept and slope. Here is how you can do this in practice if you'd like. So as I told you, you always have to create a scatter plot, right? So it's select these two columns, insert, charts, and in the charts you want this first option for scatter plot. And what that's going to do is it's going to give you a scatter plot, but we're going to go a step further. Right click on any of the points, and then there's an option down here called Add Trend Line. There are a bunch of options for trend line. We want to select the one that says linear. Yes? Scroll down and make sure you check the box that says display equation on chart and display R squared value on chart. And look at that. You get the line and you get the equation of the line. And you get the R squared value without doing a single computation. You're welcome. Okay.
How did you get there?